From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, Education Minister meets Vice Chancellors, Pro-Chancellors on prolonged ASUU strike. Commercial motorcycle riders say rising cost of living taking toll on them. Tribunal orders Consumer Protection Council to probe multi-choice tariff hike. And on the foreign scene, new UK Prime Minister Liz Truss to form government after meeting Queen. Hello and welcome to News Hour. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. And we begin with education, where Minister of Education Adamu says the federal government has done all within its powers to end the prolonged strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, including offering to increase salaries. In a meeting with vice chancellors and pro-chancellors, Adamu said that the federal government is setting up another committee to negotiate with the striking lecturers. Musa Luka reports.
The education minister expressed shock over declaration of the strike indefinite by the union on August 29. Adamu, who met with pro-chancellors, vice-chancellors, and other stakeholders at National University Commission (NUC), said other university unions like NASU, SANU, and NAD have suspended their industrial action after previous meetings. The minister explained that the meeting with stakeholders is necessary in order to clear some misconceptions and misinformation in the public domain regarding the ongoing strike. The federal government, he said, previously made proposition of increment of salary by 23.5% for all federal university workers with 35% for the professorial cadre, but the union rejected the offer.
The package offered centered around 4 positions agreed upon by government, and these are the incentives. That the federal government can only afford a 23.5 salary increase across the board for all categories of the workforce in all federal universities, except for the professorial cadre, which will enjoy a 35% upward review. Henceforth, allowances that pertain to ad hoc duties of the academic and non-academic staff should be paid as and when due by the governing councils of universities to which services were rendered and to the staff who performed them.
Vice Chancellor of National Open University of Nigeria, Professor Olufemi Peters, and the Director of Press and Public Relations, Ben Gong, give insight of what transpired at the meeting.
The minister expressed his anguish at the non-opening of our universities after several months of the strike. And I'm happy to confirm that we had very frank deliberations on all the issues. And I'm personally convinced, as the chairman of council of the National Open University of Nigeria, that the dark clouds will soon clear.
After an almost 2-hour deliberations, the meeting constituted a committee made up of 4 pro-chancellors and 5 vice-chancellors to be chaired by the minister to further look at the additional demands ASUU is making, particularly the areas where there has been no consensus.
The meeting resolved that deliberation with ASUU will continue until a lasting solution is achieved to avoid government accepting to sign agreement it will be unable to implement. Musa Luka, Trust TV News, Abuja.
On a sad note, at least 5 persons have been confirmed dead in a boat accident at Murtaba village of Gwadam local government area of Jigawa State. A statement by the police public relations officer in the state, DSP Lawal Shizu Adamu, said 4 other persons were rescued. Adamu said a locally made canoe conveying 9 passengers who were returning home capsized. The police spokesman added that the corpses had been released to relatives for burial. This is the second case of boat mishap recorded in the state within 1 week, with another recorded last Tuesday at Miga local government area said to have claimed 2 lives. In another accident, 3 children drowned at a pond in Fuskarau, Jai ward of Kogama local government area of Jigawa State. A statement by an official of the NSCDC, CSC Adamu Shehu, said the accident occurred on Monday morning when the girls went to a nearby pond about 300 meters away from the village to wash their clothes. Commercial motorcycle riders in Bajoga town, one of the largest commercial hubs in Gombe State, say the current economic situation across the country is taking a toll on their business. Speaking to Trust TV, one of the riders, popularly called Okada, said he used to generate 5,000 naira daily, but now the narrative has changed. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
Muhammad Umar is a breadwinner to his 11-member family. The Okada rider said 3 years back he earned up to 6,000 naira daily, but things have changed in the commercial city of Bajoga. To be honest, the commercial activities in the past are better than that of these days. Even though I don't know the reason for the decline, commercial transport services also reduced. Routine services from here to Ashaka has declined. Uber also pointed out that the dwindling income for commercial riders in Bajoga may not be unconnected to decline in economic activities during the rainy season in the city. Other riders also speak on the impact of the current economic situation on their operation. The work used to be very lucrative, but now the activities have declined. It is because of the rainy season, but we thank Allah. Things were better in previous years. We used to make 4,000, 5,000, some make 3,000 naira. You won't lack what to feed your family. This is how the work is. Maybe it is because of the rainy season. Bajoga, headquarters of Funakai local government area, is the second largest commercial city in northern part of Gombe State, after the state capital, Gombe. Commercial Okada riders also battle fuel price hike, sold between 198 naira and 220 naira per litre. This comes as the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) said the country's inflation rate in July was 19.64%, the highest rate since September 2005, making life difficult to many Nigerians. Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
A suit filed at the Upper Sharia Court by the Zamfara State government against the dethroned Emir of Dansadau Emirate in Maru local government area over alleged complicity in bandit activities in the troubled area has again suffered a setback as the prosecutors were unable to present witnesses and evidence for the 7th consecutive time. The prosecutors were expected to come forward with their evidence and witnesses, but claimed that the witness that agreed to come disappeared before court sitting. The report.
The prosecutors asked the court to issue an order to compel the witness who received the summons to testify against the dethroned Emir of Dansadau Emirate to come on the 23rd of September, which the case has been adjourned to. The presiding judge, Hadi Sani, after listening to the arguments of both counsels on the matter, issued a court order to compel the witness to appear in court on the adjourned date for the continuation of the hearing. One of the prosecutors, Barrister Ibrahim Umar, cited insecurity in the Dansadau area as one of the reasons causing the delay in presenting the 5 witnesses to give testimonies in court on the allegations against the dethroned Emir over his complicity in banditry activities in the state. He said 2 of the witnesses are living in Gusau Metropolis who are expected to be served with the summons to appear in court this Monday to testify, but only one was served, who came to the court and later disappeared.
We are all aware that Zamfara State is a critical insecurity prevailing all over the area, particularly this area where the Tron Emir was camped. Dansadau, it is privileged information. It is notorious fact that it is not easy for somebody to convey himself to Dansadau this much. Insecurity is overwhelming over there. We have to apply tactics in inviting our witnesses.
Counsel to the dethroned Emir of Dansado, Barrister Bello Kotorkoshi, argued that this is the 7th court sitting where the police and the Office of the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice failed to open the case and present witnesses. Therefore, he asked the court to discharge his client and dismiss the suit.
The case was adjourned to this date for continuation of presentation of evidence and facts. The last date, the State Counsel or the representative of the Attorney General took a date that they will present their witnesses today. And they issued a summon, witness summon to the witnesses. And so you can see what happened in the court. Still, as usual, the witnesses were nowhere to be found.
It will be recalled that the Zamfara state government had last year suspended the Emir of Dansado, Hussein Umar, and that of Zurmi, now late Abubakar Atiku, over connivance with the terrorists troubling the state. The dethroned emirs were detained for about 11 months at the government house, Gusau. It thereafter, in April 2022, instituted a suit against the two emirs in court to prosecute them over aiding and abetting banditry activities in the state.
Still on court cases, the Zamfara State High Court has given 2 days to the State Commissioner for Agriculture and Natural Resources to produce 58 tractors or face a contempt of court charge against him. The State High Court gave the order while delivering a ruling on the mandamus application filed by one Kabiru Dumburu to compel Justice Mukhtar of the State High Court 3 to sign the application for the sale of the properties. The report.
The presiding judge of the High Court 2, Justice Bello Shinkafi, granted the application compelling Justice Mukhtar of the High Court 3 to sign forthwith the order to allow for the sales of the movable properties attached to satisfied debts. Counsel to the complaint said while the case was pending in court, his client was reliably informed that the 58 tractors kept at the State Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources have been moved away from the ministry by the serving commissioner and other persons, an allegation which the respondent did not deny. The counsel explained that his client had supplied 1,500 motorcycles to Zamfara state government 12 years ago, but the state government is yet to pay his client.
There are properties, 58 numbers of tractors which were attached, kept at the Ministry of Agri and Natural Resources. Reliably, we were informed that under the serving commissioner with other persons, they went and moved away this property, consequent upon which we also informed the court. And the respondent did not deny that they indeed admitted that they moved this property. So the court, in his wisdom, also gave an order that within 2 days from today, that the Honorable Commissioner for Ministry of Agri should, as a matter of urgency, bring those 58 tractors that have since been attached by the order of this court.
Counsel to the respondents declined to comment on the outcome of the State High Court's 2 ruling on the application compelling Justice Mukhtar to sign the application for the sales of the vehicles attached to satisfy the debt. The Zamfara State High Court 3 had delivered a judgment in 2009 ordering the state government to pay the debt of 211 million naira to one Kabiru Dumburu, which the window given to the respondents to appeal the judgment had expired.
Moving on to security, armed robbers have invaded branches of 3 banks operating in Ankpa in Kogi State, carting away unspecified sums of money, with many feared injured or dead in the process. Reports from Ankpa says the armed robbers, numbering up to 20, were said to have entered the town around 2 in the afternoon and robbed the 3 banks while scaring people away with sporadic gunshots. An eyewitness said the robbers, who arrived in the town in several cars, including buses with others on motorbikes, also robbed POS operators. It was not clear how many people were killed or injured, but an eyewitness noted that many are feared dead. A resident told newsmen that he saw men of the Navy and policemen, including vigilantes, moving towards the area, but cannot ascertain the true picture of things. The police are yet to confirm the incident. An imposter, Obiako Chukwuemeka, who has been parading himself as a United Nations humanitarian medic at the National Hospital Abuja, has been arrested and handed over to the police. A source within the Federal Capital Territory Police Command confirmed that Chukwuemeka, whose origin and age are yet unknown, has since been detained pending his arraignment. The FCT Police Commissioner, Sunday Babaji, also said that the G7 joint security operation that was being revived has received the support of sister security agencies as well as the commissioners of police in the member states who had all agreed on the need to collectively flush out criminals. The Federal Road Safety Corps has called on road users to avoid night travels as this reduces incidents of crashes that lead to loss of lives and control. The Corps Public Education Officer of the Federal Road Safety Corps, BC Kazim, gave the advisory following reports of the rising number of victims of road accidents as travelers move from parts of the country to the other at night. Kazim, who further stressed that crashes at night were more fatal than the day, appealed to drivers and passengers to embark on journeys that would be completed before nightfall. He assured that the Corps will continue to double its efforts by constantly engaging the motoring public nationwide through aggressive awareness and sensitization campaigns until the desired result is achieved.
Plan your journeys. If it's going to end in the night, please do not embark on such journeys. Driving situation differs. The way you drive in the night is quite different from the way you drive in the day, and that is why some people in the night will still be going on 100 kilometers per hour, saying that is the specified speed limit. Meanwhile, when you are driving in the night, it says you using your common sense speed is no longer 100 kilometers per hour. So that is why we are saying that though we do not have the constitutional powers or the laws does not say we can ban night journeys, but we are advising people that it's not always safe.
Nigeria's housing deficit continues to rise annually, while many cities across the country, particularly Abuja, flaunt empty, unaffordable houses. In this report, Kabir Lowell takes a look at the level of accessibility of housing in the Federal Capital Territory. His report.
Builders and other players in the built environment in Nigeria said the country housing deficit has been increasing every year due to the country's rising population. Amid the increase in housing deficit, they noted that many Nigerian cities had numerous empty buildings, though most of these buildings were located in highbrow areas. Some Abuja residents narrate their ordeal on their experience on the issue and call on the government to review the housing policy, especially in the Federal Capital Territory.
There is no political will. Number two, there is no house policy. There is no housing policy. Number three, they have turned it into business, and wish they are always looking at it. Okay, look at example now. Look at all the estates you see around. 80% are empty because of the money, because of the income. And you know most of the masses, they are struggling to live. Okay, at the end of the day, those estate, only money alone you are paying for the maintenance and all those surcharge. Some of them is about 300 to 400 every. I'm not talking about the rent room, the surcharge. And with that surcharge, is able to some people to go and take.
While some people have different views on the issue, saying since Abuja is the power city of Nigeria, it will be difficult for poor man to reside.
Just like you mentioned, Federal Capital Territory, it's just like it's no longer affordable for a normal person, a common person. You see the way demolition comes now and then you know there's nothing like check and balances. You know, anybody that is able to build a particular house or something will just target anything they want, and nobody is checking that.
I'm talking of based on my own experience. The small village where would they stay, where they call that Kibiu, inside the Jabi here. The village itself is self-contained, bros. No be everybody feel pay. A self-contained for that Kibiu is like some are paying 200, some are paying 200 plus, some are paying 180.
According to statistics, a non-political
Transitional and Intergovernmental Organization, International Human Rights Commission, had decreed the growing number of homeless people in Nigeria and put the country housing deficit currently at 28 million. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Nigeria and Poland have signed a memorandum of understanding on agriculture and aim to enlarge economic cooperation in the energy and manufacturing sectors. Representatives of both countries put pen to paper on Tuesday at State House Abuja in the presence of visiting President of Poland, Andrzej Duda, and President Muhammadu Buhari. Kehinde Amodu reports.
It's the first state visit of a Polish leader to Nigeria since the establishment of diplomatic relations between both countries in 1961. Nigeria and Poland have enjoyed excellent bilateral relations in the last 60 years. It is a relationship built up at the people-to-people level by the presence of many Nigerians at Polish higher institutions of learning, as well as the input of Polish engineers and scientists in the building of infrastructure in Nigeria. But Nigeria wants more and is aiming for new mechanisms for cooperation, including regular strategic dialogues and political consultations to cover not only bilateral relations, but also to address regional and international issues.
As regards trade relations, we would like to see an increase in the level of trade, as it remains relatively low in spite of the long period of relations between our two countries. I wish to express the readiness of Nigeria to enlarge the fields of economic cooperation with Poland, including the fields of energy, agriculture, and manufacturing.
The Polish president is not averse to stronger cooperation with Nigeria, which is why it is the only African country Poland has signed an agreement of strategic dialogue with, which includes, of course, the MOU on agriculture cooperation. Aside from food security, which is high on the priorities of both countries, the multiplier effect of the Russia-Ukraine war may just be a driving force behind this visit. What with the emphasis on energy security and the delivery of liquefied natural gas to Poland from Nigeria, as well as shipments of crude oil. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Fish farmers in Kebbi decry low patronage. Do stay with us.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Trust TV. documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. Here's a recap of some of our top stories. We told you that Education Minister meets Vice Chancellors, Pro-Chancellors as efforts to resolve ASUU strike continues. We also told you that commercial motorcycle riders say rising cost of living taking toll on them. Moving to other stories, Kano State government says more than 15% of its annual budget was allocated to the health sector in 2021 and 2022. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Aminu Tsanyawa, said this in Kaduna after a workshop organized to develop the 2023 Health Sector Annual Operational Development Plan. The report.
According to the Commissioner of Health, Kano State has developed the second state health sector strategic plan from 2018 to 2022. The health sector strategic plan has clearly identified key high infant intervention that have been proven to have huge benefit in improving health indices in Kano State. He said the annual operational plan has enormous benefit not only to the sector but to the people of Kano State.
The development of one unified evidence-based annual operation plan for health sector has enormous benefit, one of which includes the continuous increase of budgetary allocation and releases to the health sector. Despite the current economic challenges, Kano State has achieved about 15% allocation to the health sector in 2021 as well as 2022.
Tsanyawa also highlighted key priority areas of 2023 annual operational plan that the Kano State government wants to achieve in order to improve healthcare delivery in the state.
The key priority areas for 2023 annual operation plan include the establishment of malnutrition treatment center as well as geriatric center, establishment of ICT center in the Ministry of Health, strengthening service delivery and quality of care in secondary and primary health facilities, implementation of phase 1 minimum service package, increased enrollment of vulnerable as well as informal sector by Kano State Contributory Health Management Agency.
The commissioner said the Kano State government has come up with many interventions to ensure the sustainability of the operational plans, especially towards achieving universal healthcare coverage. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The National Orientation Agency has organized a 3-day training course that seeks to empower national fact-checkers to manage information. The agency said this has become necessary, especially with the 2023 elections and national census approaching. Noel Sampson has more.
Wars have been caused, nations destroyed, lives lost, all because of fake news. With a growing fear of insecurity, the delicate state of the nation and the much anticipated 2020 general elections, it is paramount to filter news. Thus, the reason for the 3-day workshop organized by NOA. The agency said it is necessary to train the military, paramilitary, and other agencies, private and public sectors, to be able to manage information coming in.
The National Orientation Agency's strategic plan, 5-year strategic plan 2022 to 2027. Aware of the very difficult operating environment, the ever-changing social environment. The impact of information and the communication technology on our national lives. Decided as part of that national, part of that strategic plan to train 37,000 fact checkers across the country.
The security agencies also alerted the dangers associated with fake news, hence stressing the importance of filtering and managing information before getting out to the public.
The considerable damage news distortion poses to public peace and security. Nigeria is not exempted from the dangers of fake news, and we are aware that over time, fake news had disrupted public order and peace, and also has led to ethno-religious crisis.
The media that is saddled with the responsibility of informing the public has a major role in ensuring the fake news is not promoted.
That is why the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, is committed to arresting the menace by encouraging broadcasters to provide a detailed and intelligent daily account of local, national, and international events in the truthful and accurate manner without distortions.
It is therefore the responsibility of all and sundry to ensure that before promoting and spreading news, fact check to ensure credibility, as fake news has definitely done harm and will continue to do more if the situation is not tackled properly. Noah Sabsi, Trust TV, Abuja.
Fish sellers in Yauri, Kebbi State say patronage in the business is declining, making life difficult for them. Hamza Galadima reports that owing to fishing activities, fish is cheap in the town, attracting buyers from far and near.
Yauri is an ancient fortress that lies at the bank of the river Niger and has an interesting history and cultural background, which includes trade, commerce, and marine resources. The town, according to historians, was a main trade route from the colonial time, and the people of the area are mainly farmers and fishermen. Over the years, Yauri has been a major fish market that supplies marine resources to all parts of Nigeria and even some part of Africa. According to Alhaji Hassan, the chairman of the Yauri Fish Market Traders Association Yauri, Yauri still plays a vital role in supplying fish resources where traders from Benin, Mali, and Togo, as well as Ghana, visit to buy fish and other marine-related resources.
Ƙasar Yauri ga kihi sai mu ce da Najeriya gaba ɗaya nan wanda kihin Yauri.
Yauri is blessed with fish and people from far and near come to purchase fish here. During the fish market day, it attracts people from Kaduna, Lagos, Odisha, and other parts of the country. Yauri have been known for this trademark since inception.
But lately, according to Malam Hassan, because of the reduction in the resources and global warming, marine resources has been on the decline, and only a few of the traders visit the town to trade in fish and other marine resources. A visit to the fish market in Yauri by Trust TV News revealed that the market has been grossly neglected, which also contributed to the decline of the fish trading activities. Malam Hassan said, although the Kebbi State government provided a modern cold room for the storage of fish, activities at the market has been on the low level, with mainly local traders coming to trade, while traders from other African countries have diverted their trades to other places like Mali and Ghana. Presently, the market is a shadow of itself, with only a handful of traders curing their catches in preparations for the next market day. Hamza Galadima Zuru, Trust TV News from Birnin Kebbi.
The Competition and Consumer Protection Tribunal sitting in Abuja has dismissed a suit challenging the price increase by MultiChoice Nigeria Limited, owners of satellite television services DSTV and GoTV. Delivering judgment on Tuesday, a three-member panel of the tribunal dismissed the suit for lacking merit. Madia Umar has more.
The claimant, Festus Unifade, a legal practitioner,
had sued the company on behalf of himself and the coalition of Nigerian consumers. While MultiChoice Nigeria Limited is the first defendant, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission (FCCPC) is the second respondent. Onifadiwa argued in his case that he resorted to the tribunal due to the refusal of the FCCPC to hear and determine two of his complaints bordering on tariff increase in May and June 2020. After the court judgment, he expressed dissatisfaction as most of his peers were not upheld.
Our claims was not upheld, so that's the summary. Next line of action is that we'll look at the judgment, we'll study it, we'll look at any possible areas if we can appeal. So we'll thoroughly study the judgment. As you know, this area, particularly the tribunal itself, is novel, is new. I think in a way we are one of the first persons that have approached the tribunal on these issues, and in a way they were overwhelmed at some point, but at least we're able to pass through those stages, and so we look at all these things. It's quite new. Again, you know, the law, again, we are coming under.
While counsel to MultiChoice declined a video interview, the tribunal ordered the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission (FCCPC) to review the activities of MultiChoice and report back in 6 months.
The parties filed their processes, sought reliefs, and the court, in their wisdom, had reached its decision and determination of those issues and the reliefs. We wouldn't want to say otherwise, and that is the best decision or judgment of the tribunal, and that is the best of it. The commission will do everything within its power and mandate to protect Nigerian consumers. Know that.
Ruling on some preliminary objections while delivering a ruling in the case on Tuesday, a 3-member panel of tribunal chaired by Thomas Okosun ordered MultiChoice's managing director to appear before it on 8th of September 2022 with an audited financial report of pay television for appropriate sanctions to be determined. Martia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Thank you, Martia, for that report. Away from that, a federal high court sitting in Lagos State has granted bail to the Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Olakunle Oluoma, in the sum of 300 million naira with 2 sureties in like sum. Justice Daniel Osiago on Tuesday granted bail following no objections from the EFCC. Counsel to the Speaker, Kehinde Ogunwumiju, SAN, on his part, asked the court to admit his client to bail on liberal terms. In granting bail to the Speaker, Justice Osiago held that one of his sureties must not be less than a level 16 officer in the civil service, while the other must possess landed property within the court's jurisdiction. The court granted the second and third defendant bail in the sum of 100 million naira with 2 sureties also in like sum. Until they fulfill bail conditions, the defendants will be remanded in the custody of the EFCC for a week, after which they will be transferred to the Abeokuta division of the court for further orders on their remand. The Osun State Commander of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has arrested a 33-year-old man, Gbenga Olamilekan. He was arrested for breaking and entering into a house in Ilesha, where he allegedly stole a television set, clothes and other items. The public relations officer for the NSCDC in the state, Kehinde Adeleke, told Trust TV's Hamid Oyegbade that the suspect confessed to the crime and that he will be charged in court.
It's all about a case of unlawful entry, which was reported at our area command, Ilesha Area Command A, by someone in Ilesha. It was reported that someone unlawfully gained access into another person's house. Investigation revealed that this particular suspect has been working as a plumber, and he has been helping this said man to be repairing his plumbing pipes. But one day, he unlawfully gained access to his house and carted away some items. Such items include 1 plasma television, some clothes, a laptop, 2 pairs of shoes, and other domestic tools. On investigation, the suspect actually confessed to have committed the crime, but I want to assure you that in no time he will be charged to court for prosecution.
You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Do stay with us.
That's great. It's good to see you.
Welcome back. Now let's join Chamunda Beng for business news.
The National Identity Management Commission has stated that anyone who transacts in cash in any way at any of its centers is subject to prosecution. The Commission also says all payments and financial transactions must be made exclusively through the NIMC Remitter platform. The warning was contained in a public statement published by the Commission. It was also mentioned that Nigerians would be charged 15,000 naira if they want to change their date of birth information. The Commission notes that the cost of 500 naira is necessary for each NIN slip reprint and biodata change outside the excluding date of birth. It further stated that the National EID card renewal or replacement will cost 5,000 naira, but card printing services have been put on hold indefinitely. NIMC listed free services to include NIN enrollment, NIN verification prior to enrollment, and the initial issuing of national EID cards. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says it sold $2.43 billion worth of foreign currency to authorized dealers via the Investors and Exporters I&E window and Small and Medium Enterprises SMEs window from January to May 2022. In comparison to the $2.23 billion sold in the same period the previous year, this shows an increase of 8.9% year over year. According to data from the CBN Monthly Economic Report for the time period, period, the I&E window sold foreign exchange for $1.83 billion during that time, while the SME's window sold foreign exchange worth $607.33 million. During that time, the CBN sold authorized dealers $7.6 billion worth of foreign exchange. But according to the CBN's monthly report, month over month, foreign exchange sales through the I&E window fell by 38% to $160 million from $260 million in April. Foreign exchange sales at the I&E and interbank invisible windows fell by 37.9% and 0.7% respectively to $0.16 billion, each below their corresponding amounts in the previous month, according to a breakdown. Similarly, compared to April, SMEs and matured swap contracts decreased by 7% and 71.4% to $0.64 billion and $0.1 billion respectively. However, sales of foreign currency at the SME's window increased by 8.4% to $0.12 billion in the review period. The African Development Bank, AFDB, and the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development have revealed plans to transform Nigeria's wheat value chain by emulating the success seen in the nation's rice and value chain. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development Mohammed Abubakar stated in Abuja during a meeting for stakeholders to validate the National Wheat Strategy document. According to Abubakar, the NWSD was created to boost local production for smallholder farmers in the wheat subsector by increasing production, revenue, and competitiveness. According to him, the NWSD is a component of the federal government's pledge to support the National Wheat Strategy program, which aims to increase the productivity of the wheat value chain. The minister emphasized that in light of the multiplier effects of COVID-19 and the ongoing Russian-Ukrainian conflict, which have severely impacted the supply of wheat on the global market, Nigeria has no choice but to increase its domestic wheat production in order to satisfy the country's need. That's all for Business News. I am Chamun Dabeng.
On the international scene, Liz Truss has become Britain's next Prime Minister after meeting with Queen Elizabeth II, who asked her to form a new government. Truss, 47, took office on Tuesday in the carefully choreographed ceremony with the monarch a day after the ruling Conservative Party announced that Truss was elected as its leader. Her predecessor, Boris Johnson, formally stepped down during his own audience with the Queen at her Balmoral estate in Scotland. Speaking to Conservative Party members on Monday, Truss, who offered few specifics on her policies, promised to deliver on the economy, the energy crisis, and the overstretched healthcare system. At least 35 civilians have been killed as a convoy of vehicles carrying supplies in Burkina Faso's restive northern region struck an improvised explosive device. According to the regional governor, Rodolfo Sogo, said the explosion, which wounded 37 others, occurred as the military-escorted convoy traveled along the road from Bozanga to Djibo on Monday. The tri-border area has been central to a spiraling security crisis in the wider region over the last 10 years and has seen increasing attacks by groups linked to Al-Qaeda and ISIL following military takeovers in Mali and Burkina Faso in May 2021 and January 2022, respectively. The victims are mainly traders who are going to buy supplies in Ouagadougou and students who were returning to the capital for the next school year. The explosion follows a string of attacks on main roads leading to the region's main cities, Dori and Djibo. Still away from Nigeria, Israel has summoned its ambassadors to Morocco, David Govin, over allegations of sexual harassment and corruption. The Israeli Foreign Ministry confirmed Govin's recall on Tuesday, saying he will remain in Israel pending the ministry's investigation into the allegations against him. The most serious complaint was that a senior Israeli official at the mission had sexually exploited several local women, something that could lead to a severe diplomatic incident with Morocco. There were also complaints of sexual harassment within the mission. According to the Times of Israel, the Foreign Ministry is also investigating the theft of a precious gift from the Moroccan royal court during Israel's celebration of its foundation anniversary. Govrin, 58, is a fluent Arabic speaker and had previously served as the ambassador to Egypt from 2016 to August 2020. In sports, at least 1,500 athletes and officials are expected to participate in the 12th Nigerian Navy Games scheduled to take place between 8th and 13th September 2022 in Lagos. Addressing journalists, the Chief of Administration, Navy Headquarters, Rear Admiral Jason Gbassa, said sports and physical training have always been a bedrock of the Nigerian Navy's daily mental and physical routine. Rear Admiral Gbassa, who represented the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Zubairu Gambo, said a new Nigerian Navy sports complex will be commissioned during the competition in Navy Town, Ojo. He further said the biennial event is not the only avenue the Navy employs in keeping its athletes and personnel in good physical and mental shape.
Sports and physical training have always been a bedrock of the Nigerian Navy's daily routine, daily mental and physical routine for service of personnel ashore and at sea. It is for this reason and the benefits derivable from participation in sports that the Nigerian Navy pays particular attention to daily routine and programmed periodic sports engagements like the Nigerian Navy Games. The organization of sports meets such as the Nigerian Navy Games also avails the opportunity to identify and develop talents that will proudly represent our dear nation in international competitions in the future.
And finally, the Egyptian Under-19 girls volleyball team has emerged winners of the African Under-19 Volleyball Championship held in Abuja. To clinch the top spot, they beat Cameroon 3-1 in the final match. Adeni Ajishafe has more.
The multipurpose sports hall of MKO Abiola Stadium, Abuja, which hosted the final of 2022 African Nations Girls Under-19 Volleyball Championship, was filled with chants of competitiveness as players marched on the court to vie for honors in the final. Cameroon and Egypt Under-19 girls tested each other in the fourth set that saw a neck-to-neck performance till Egypt won by 2 points, 26-24. Second set started on a good note for Egypt, who led early to give Cameroon a good run from a 3 to 5 points gap of 18-13. And include the tally to a 9 points gap of 25-16 to end the second set 2-0 for Egypt. Meanwhile, Cameroon Under-19 girls quickly settled in the third set, leading with 5 points in the early minutes to widen the gap in a 10-5 result. Cameroon were equal to the task, working hard to increase the score to 6-point margin before the first time out. After technically taking instructions from the side, it yielded positive performance as they ended third set 25-22 to push the game to the fourth set. Despite leading 2-1, Egypt came out smoking to lead with a wide gap of 25-13 to win in the fourth set, making it 3-1 in all, as Egypt beat Cameroon to become the champion of Under-19 Girls Volleyball Championship. The best libero of the tournament, Usman Miriam of Nigeria, says despite losing 2 games, she believes the Nigerian team will go places next time.
We really try our possible best, but since this is how God says it's going to be, we have no choice than to take it the way it is. But I'm very proud of my team. I know we can do more better next time. And we go back home and work more harder.
Miriam Amir of Egypt, who won the best server of the tournament, expressed joy for coming to Nigeria to win the championship.
We're being a great team. We're very friendly with each other. We're being a very good team. 2 days and we're going to go. I was very happy to be here in Nigeria.
Malak El-Bahiri of Egypt won the most valuable player of the tournament that lasted 5 days, with Nigeria, Egypt and Cameroon competing for honors at the Under-19 Girls Championship. That's Sport News. I am Adeni Ajishafe.
With this, we've come to the end of News Hour on Trust TV. For more news, connect with us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.